Every Harley Davidson motorcycle sold in the United States is built in just two factories, Milwaukee and York. What happens inside? Few ever see it. This is inside Harley Davidson's top secret motorcycle factory. Before the paint, before the roar, and before the first twist of the throttle, every Harley starts with simple sheets of steel. At Harley Davidson's York factory in Pennsylvania, the journey begins. This is where body parts, such as fenders and fuel tanks, are manufactured. The process starts with metal pressing. Giant machines shape cold steel into curved, recognizable pieces. These presses mold parts, such as fenders and tanks, with exact force and pressure. The machines are loud, powerful, and highly accurate, and one press can weigh hundreds of tons. This part of the factory is all about transformation. A flat piece of metal becomes a curved tank or a front fender in seconds, and every press is operated with care and timing. Some parts of the pressing line are automated. Others still rely on skilled workers to watch over each cycle. Their job is to make sure that nothing goes wrong. While some components are imported from countries like China, nearly 70% of the parts used in Harleys sold in the US are made in America. That includes these first body pieces. Harley uses a mix of global sourcing and local craftsmanship to create their motorcycles. The body parts made in York are stored temporarily in a central warehouse, but they're not waiting long. Harley uses a just-in-time manufacturing process. This means the parts are delivered to the assembly line exactly when they're needed. No earlier, no later, because it helps reduce waste, it keeps the plant moving fast, and it allows workers to focus on quality as opposed to timing. But even steel parts need a skeleton to attach to, and that comes next when robotic arms and welding sparks create the backbone of a Harley. Once the stamp parts are ready, it's time to build the motorcycle skeleton, the frame. Inside the welding department, massive robotic arms move with perfect rhythm. These machines are programmed to weld the steel pieces together with incredible accuracy. Here, every weld matters. It's not just about strength, it's about balance, it's about safety. The frame has to hold the engine, the fuel tank, and the rider. It's also got to absorb vibration, handle road stress, and stay rock solid over time. Some parts of the welding process can't be done by machines. Irregular shapes or areas with tight angles are welded by hand. Experienced workers use specialized torches to do this. Each of them is trained for a specific welding task. These experts do it over and over again, becoming specialists in one exact part of the bike. The finished frame is more than just a support structure. On many Harley models, the frame design is part of the bike's visual style. Clean welds, symmetrical lines, and proper alignment all play a role in how the bike will ride and how it's gonna look. Once welding is complete, the frame goes through inspection. Alignment is checked using gauges. Every joint is examined. Nothing moves forward unless it passes strict quality checks. Now it's time to protect the frame. That means paint, but not just any paint. Beyond all the sparks and steel, there's something deeper at play. Emotion, design, and the feeling that a Harley should leave behind. Before it becomes the deep black or chrome beast you see on the road, the Harley frame takes a journey through paint, powder, and polish. Next stop, the paint shop. Here, parts like the fuel tank, fenders, and frame are prepped to get their finish. This isn't a one-step paint job. It's a multi-layered process designed for both durability and shine. And in the middle of all of it is the custom paint program, one of the most precise, ambitious projects Harley has ever put into motion. First up comes corrosion protection. The metal parts are dipped or sprayed with a special solution to stop rust. Then comes the primer. This gives the surface a smooth texture and helps the final paint layer stick better. After that, the color layer is applied. This is where the Harley magic starts to show. Matte blacks, metallic silvers, and deep glossy reds all begin to take shape. And finally, a clear protective coat is added. This gives the bike a shine and protects the paint from the sun, the rain, and the road. While most of the painting process is done by robotic arms, human workers are always close by. They supervise, adjust, and maintain the system. And in some areas, especially for custom models or fine details, painting is still done by hand. One special method the Harley uses is called powder coating. This is different from liquid paint. It's a dry powder made of pigment and resin. This is actually sprayed onto the metal surface using static electricity, and then the part is baked in an oven. The powder melts and forms a hard, even finish. Powder coating is used mainly on engine parts and frames. It's tough, heat-resistant, and smooth. It also lasts a really long time without peeling or fading. Workers check every painted part under bright LED lights in a tunnel. This helps them spot any flaws, scratches, or thin spots. If something doesn't look perfect, it's sent back for touch-ups or repainting. Alright, now the frame is strong and the paint is perfect. But a Harley isn't a Harley without the heart of the beast, the engine. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Harley's main powertrain facility brings life to every single motorcycle. This is where the legendary engines are built, from casting all the way to final assembly. The Milwaukee 8 engine is the centerpiece of Harley's lineup. Named for its 8 valves, its V-twin engine known for deep sound, smooth power, and classic American feel. The engine building process starts with casting and machining. Engine blocks are made from raw metal and shaped into precise forms. Then they're milled, they're drilled, and they're polished using computer-controlled machines. Robots are used for heavy lifting and placement, but human hands still control the fine details. Workers place parts like camshafts, pistons, and crankshafts into the block. They follow detailed instructions and use torque tools to tighten every bolt to an exact level. Cylinder heads are handled with care. These parts have cooling fins, spark plug holes, and intake and exhaust valves. Each Harley V-twin has 2 heads, one per cylinder. Now, these are designed for air cooling, and the fins help pull heat away from the engine while it's running. Robots do some of the cylinder head work, especially lifting and placement, but fitting everything together, double-checking alignments, and testing, those steps are all still done by skilled workers. Harley technicians are trained for one role. That might mean assembling crankcases or fitting pistons. They repeat the same task daily, becoming specialists. This helps keep quality high and mistakes low. Once an engine's fully built, it gets tagged, documented, and stored. Each engine has a specific serial number and is matched with a bike model. That engine is soon going to be installed into a frame back in York or other assembly centers. Alright, with the engine and that body ready, it's time for the moment where everything comes together, the main assembly line. All the way back in York, Pennsylvania, the final build begins. The frame, freshly painted and inspected, is moved on to the assembly line. This is where the real puzzle solving starts. We're talking hundreds of parts, wires, brackets, and panels that have to be attached in the correct order. The first big moment is the marriage of engine and frame. Technicians lower the Milwaukee 8 engine onto the frame using lifting equipment. It's got to align perfectly. No gaps, no tension. Workers got to bolt it in, check alignment again, and begin connecting everything around it. Handlebars are mounted next. These come pre-wired with switches and controls. Workers connect the wiring to the main harness, carefully routing it through the frame to prevent friction or damage. Then, the front suspension and wheels are added. The rear wheel and belt drive follow soon after that. Fuel lines, brake hoses, and electrical connectors all go in next. Each hose has to be clamped at just the right tension. Each wire has to click into place. The brakes, ABS sensors, clutch cables, and exhaust headers are installed in this phase. Now, one of the most impressive things about the Harley assembly line is how many parts are fitted by hand. While some tools are robotic or powered, most tasks are still human-controlled. Workers use torque wrenches, alignment gauges, and checklists. They wear gloves and safety gear. They know their steps, and every station has a supervisor to oversee work and keep the sequence moving. This entire process is also optimized to avoid mistakes. If something goes wrong in one station, the bike won't move forward until it's fixed. This system is built for accuracy, not for speed. As the bike takes shape, the character begins to show, but it's not complete until the tanks and fenders give it that added bit of style. Once the engine and frame are joined and the mechanical parts are all in place, it's time to add the elements that will define a Harley's signature look. The fuel tank here is the biggest piece. It's got to be mounted carefully and evenly with no scratches or stress on the paint. Each tank is also connected to the fuel lines and electronics, including the fuel sensor and the cap components. Next comes the front and rear fenders. These are fitted over the wheels and lined up perfectly with the tire and the frame. Now, this not only affects the bike's appearance, but also the ride. Poor alignment can lead to vibration or even uneven wear. Protective covers and side panels are then added. Now, these might include battery covers, wiring shields, and heat guards around the exhaust. Each element has a role to fulfill. Now, some are just cool and cosmetic and are there for looks. Others are for safety and performance. Some are snap-fitted, while others are bolted into place. Alright, the seat is installed next. Some Harley models have single seats while others offer passenger seats, backrests, or even touring options. Seats are tested for position and firmness. The mounting brackets have to hold the seat steady, but also allow for quick removal when absolutely needed. Now, as all of this is happening, another team installs and aligns the headlight, the turn signals, tail lights, and license plate bracket. The wiring is checked again, and every signal and light has to respond correctly. The handlebars are then connected to the front brakes and clutch lines. Workers test the tension, the angle, and switch controls. It's a small but crucial moment. This is where the rider will connect to the machine. But we all know, no Harley leaves the factory without proving itself first. Before shipping, each bike faces a test of fire, motion, and precision. With the motorcycle fully assembled, it's time for inspection and performance testing. Harley Davidson takes this step seriously. It's not just about starting the engine, it's about making sure the bike can take the road. The first part of testing is a visual check. The entire motorcycle is rolled into a light tunnel where workers check the paint and chrome for flaws. High-powered LED lights make it easy to see small scratches, paint bubbles, or mismatched panels. If anything looks wrong, the bike is taken off the line and corrected before continuing. Next up is the dyno test. A dynamometer, or dyno, is a special machine with rollers. The bike's mounted onto the dyno. The rear wheel spins like it's on the road. The engine is started and revved, and technicians monitor how the bike performs under load. They measure torque, engine response, exhaust sound, and braking. The test checks multiple systems at once: engine, transmission, throttle, ABS electronics, and cooling. It's the final gate in the process. The bike has to pass all sections in order to move forward. If it fails, the issue's tracked and fixed, and the bike is retested. And that's why for Harley workers, testing isn't just a formality, it's personal. They won't let a bike move forward unless it's something that they would ride themselves. Some dyno rooms are completely enclosed for noise control and safety. Workers wear ear protection and safety gear. The data collected during dyno testing is stored with the bike's serial number, allowing traceability for any issues later on in the bike's life. After dyno testing, the bike is polished and prepped for shipping. Technicians apply a protective layer on painted surfaces and check bolts, fasteners, and key fittings one last time. And for the people here, it's not just a bike, it's a personal stamp of pride. Well, now that the bike is finished and tested, it's time to get it ready for its journey to a dealership, a customer, or a collector somewhere across the globe. Once a Harley Davidson motorcycle passes testing, it doesn't just roll out the door. It's carefully prepped for the next stage, shipping. Each bike is cleaned, polished, and checked one last time. A protective film is applied to areas like the tank, fenders, and the mirrors. This helps prevent scratches during transport. Then the bike is carefully placed into a large metal or wooden shipping crate. Foam padding and straps hold it steady. Some models are partially disassembled, usually the mirrors or handlebars are rotated to save some space and fit inside the crate. Each box is labeled with the model, the VIN number, and the destination. From here, the bike joins others on a line of trucks. In the US, most Harley Davidson bikes are shipped by truck to dealerships. International orders are sent to ports for ocean shipping. The company uses a tracking system so every bike's location is known throughout the journey. In many factories, these crated bikes are moved around by AGVs, automated guided vehicles. These yellow machines carry heavy loads across a factory floor without a driver. They follow magnetic lines or sensors and help speed up the internal logistics. Harley Davidson uses a just-in-time method, which means the parts and sub-assemblies are delivered and used at the exact moment they're needed. This saves a lot of time and space and cost, but it also requires really accurate timing because every delay affects the entire chain. When bikes leave the factory floor every day, the true story of Harley lives beyond the shipping crates and its roots, its workers, and the pride built into every single machine. At Harley, machines are important, but people are everything. The York and Milwaukee factories employ thousands of workers. Most of them are on the main assembly lines doing specific tasks again and again with expert precision. Some workers install brakes, others mount engines, some polish chrome. Each person has one job, and that job is critical. They perform it with care because they know what the bike means to its rider. There's a strong sense of teamwork at each workstation. If one person struggles or misses a step, the others step in, because nobody wants a mistake to move forward. The pride doesn't just show on the bikes, it's visible in the factories too. The giant American flag hanging from the ceiling in Menominee Falls is a symbol of heritage and identity. From the stickers on the frames to the quality control tags on the engines, each detail connects back to the people who built it. The average line worker earns between $20 and $30 per hour depending on their role and how long they've been with the company. Senior technicians and team leads make more. There's also roles in design, testing, logistics, and painting. Many of these employees have been with Harley Davidson for decades. They've built hundreds, sometimes thousands of bikes. They know the difference between a perfect ride and a rushed one, and that experience can't be replaced by a robot. But while the factories and faces remain deeply American, Harley has long outgrown its home turf. In 2024, Harley Davidson sold around 171,000 motorcycles worldwide. Over 100,000 of those sales happened in the United States. The rest were spread across India, Latin America, and Europe, markets that are rapidly growing. To understand Harley's place in the world, consider this. Honda sells over 17 million motorcycles each year. That's more than 100 times Harley's volume. And yet, a Harley Davidson still carries more weight in name, legacy, and image than most brands on the planet. Part of this comes from design. A Harley isn't just a motorcycle, it's a cruiser. It's heavy, it's loud, and it's made for long roads. That design doesn't always work in every market. In places where traffic is dense and roads are narrow, a lightweight bike makes more sense. Harley knows this, and they're adapting. For example, the new Sportster S and Nightster models use a smaller, more modern engine, the Revolution Max. These bikes still have Harley styling, but they're more affordable and easier to handle. This allows Harley to reach younger riders and those in new markets. Harley also sources some of its parts globally. While 70% of each bike is still made in the US, some components come from China and other countries. These are mostly electronics or simple hardware, but the engines, the frames, and the core parts are all still made in Milwaukee and York. As Harley grows globally, its greatest challenge is staying true to what made it great: heritage, customization, and craftsmanship. And that brings us to our final destination, a comparison between Harley and its greatest rival. When people think of American motorcycles, two names come up: Harley Davidson and Indian. Both are iconic, both are historic, both build powerful V-twin cruisers that roar across highways with confidence. But there's always been a rivalry. Harley Davidson was founded in 1903 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Indian Motorcycle was founded even earlier in 1901. Both companies survived wars, market crashes, and changing generations. But in recent years, they've taken really different paths. Indian Motorcycle is now owned by Polaris, and its main factory is located in Spirit Lake, Iowa. Around 550 skilled workers hand-assemble each Indian bike with great care. The factory uses clay modeling, precision testing, and detailed leatherwork. Indian bikes are known for classic styling, chrome-heavy finishes, and a strong focus on comfort. It's not just about the parts, it's about the hands behind them, and that attention to detail, that runs deep. Harley Davidson, on the other hand, is focused on craftsmanship, heritage, and performance upgrades. The Milwaukee 8 engine is air-cooled and built for muscle and distance. Indian's Thunderstroke engine is also a V-twin, but is often tuned for a smoother, quieter ride. And while Harley has begun introducing modern features like ride models and traction control, Indian offers things like the Ride Command digital display and Bluetooth connectivity as standard. Both companies also share a similar factory setup. In Spirit Lake, Indian's workers handle assembly, painting, and leatherwork. Harley's teams in York and Milwaukee do the same, but with greater automation in some areas and a slightly larger workforce overall. Indian sold just over 30,000 motorcycles last year, while Harley sold 171,000. So even though the competition is fierce, Harley remains the leader. But sales aren't everything. What really keeps Harley Davidson rolling forward is something deeper. A Harley is more than just metal and rubber, it's a symbol. Every time a new Harley rolls off the line in York or Milwaukee, it carries over 120 years of history behind it. From the first factory shed built in 1903 to today's high-tech plants, Harley has always focused on one thing: freedom on two wheels. That's why the brand matters. That's why people put stickers on their helmets and fly flags at rallies. That's why you'll find Harley clubs in countries across the world. And it's also why the workers in these factories treat every bike like it matters. Inside the York plant, there's a mural showing the company's early days. Inside Menominee Falls, a massive American flag waves over the assembly line. These symbols remind every employee and every visitor what Harley Davidson stands for. The CVO models, short for Custom Vehicle Operations, are the crown jewels. These bikes get special paint jobs, premium parts, and way more hand assembly than any other model. And it's here with the CVO line that Harley sets the bar, not just for style, but for engineering. They cost more, but they're also built to show off just how far Harley's craftsmanship can go. And then there's the sound. That signature rumble. It's not just noise, it's a reminder that a Harley engine is alive. It shakes, it growls, it reminds you that you're not driving a machine, you're riding a legend. So where does Harley Davidson go from here? The company is adapting. It's not just about big cruisers anymore. The launch of the Revolution Max engine, smaller Sportster models, and the Pan America Adventure bike shows that Harley is listening to new riders, and it's trying to stay ahead in a changing world. There's also efforts toward electric. The Livewire was Harley's first electric motorcycle, a bold step into the future that even Jason Momoa took. While it didn't exactly sell in large numbers, it proved one thing: Harley is willing to change even if it means rewriting its own rules. So, at its core, Harley Davidson is staying true to itself. It's still made in America, it still hires thousands of workers, it still hand builds motorcycles with care, with pride, and attention to detail. And every engine still starts the same way, with somebody reaching for a tool, not just pressing a button. And that's what makes Harley different. Not just the power, not just the history, but the hands that build them all.